I got injured in 1986, which is a minute ago. The first real hurdle I had to be able to shoot or hunt again was not being able to pull the trigger, because I'm C7, means I don't have any grip. And so when I came home from the hospital, I had this little device that I used for riding, and I used that to try to pull the trigger with. It didn't work. So it failed. I missed a deer. It was a really low point in my life, but looking back, I can laugh at it because it taught me so much. So the next year, I used that same device and I just reworked it to where it would work for me, which led to this trigger puller, which is, this is what I went to an orthotics doctor and had to make this after a few years of prototype and testing. And it's really simple to put on.
And the important feature of this is that it fits on the back of your hand and the back of your finger. So when you pull the trigger, your finger is touching the trigger, which is very important because you want to be able to feel the trigger pull. Not only does it feel natural, you want to be able to tell when the gun's about to go off.
So came up with this, which is this brace in the back here fits on the handles on the back of my chair, and this strap will come underneath my arms. I'll actually put it on over my head, but this strap hits right here. But it needs to be as high up as I can get it, and then of course I can tighten it or loosen it with just one hand, so I don't rely on anyone else. It's kind of tough when you're sitting here and you're strapped in real tight because it's hard to breathe. So I want to be able to loosen it when I'm not shooting or something. So that allows me to pick up a gun and swing it without falling on my face or shooting a hole in the ground.
We came up with this design that slips over my head, hooks on the back handles, and then I can tighten my strap up like this. I use a Browning shotgun, and I'll tell you a few reasons why. Let me just show you how. See, I lift up with this device. I lift the gun up in the back, and then I got a little aim. That's about all my range there, but you'd be surprised how much actually goes into that range. So this is a Browning Maxxis 12 gauge. The key feature about a Browning is it has a smooth, wide trigger. Not very many guns have that, which is important because a narrow trigger, after about a box of shells, it'll cut your finger up. And it's no fun shooting when you have a bloody finger and it's painful. The next feature that I really like about the Browning shotgun, it's called an auto load feature. So when I shoot 3 times, it's open, and all I have to do is put the gun on my lap just like that and hold it with my arm. When you load the shell and let it go, it automatically loads it. So there's no button to push. No, I don't have to load it into the action. Go zip, zip, zip with 3 shells, off safety, ready to go again. Another good thing about this 12, it's a Maxxis Light. It's a 7-pound gun, and I would not shoot anything heavier.
It takes all the recoil off, which you probably, if you don't know anything about a high power rifle, they kick pretty hard, especially the bigger calibers. And the suppressor takes about 90% of that recoil away, which is really important for me because when you don't have any trunk muscle, it kicks you a little harder, especially if you got a chair behind you. I just was never gonna shoot the bigger calibers until then. I was like, oh, I heard the Angels sing. It's one of the biggest inventions that they did not make for us at all, but we'll take it. Well, the very first ones, I still had those little pneumatic tires on, which were difficult for my friends when they were having to haul me through like mud and water. And it actually was harder for me to push because I push on the tire. So one of the best things I ever did was go to mountain bike tires. And that took years for me to figure out too. Some things are just like, why did I wait so long when I switched over? Because the pneumatic, I was having to push down hard to get grip, and then that way and it's giving me carpal tunnel syndrome. So these, it's easier. I just push. It's a softer ride, and it's a lot easier to roll around off road. The newest thing on the market are these electric off-road chairs. So I don't like them, but there's track chairs. Those are huge. Everybody's heard of them. They've never been for me because it's like a 600-pound tank, and it is rough riding, and it won't go very far, obviously, because that battery has to push 600 pounds to get it. But there's some other ones, you know, there's like a little, just Smart Drive, for instance. That's not made for off-road, but there's one that goes under your chair, and it carries your whole chair around, like if you want to go to the beach or something. You know, there's a mountain trike, which is it's the manual chair with the levers that you push like this. There's about 3 versions of that. That is more for off-road. It just gives you more power. We tried out this Outrider Coyote, which is their 4-wheel driver. It's got 4 electric hub drives, low profile, quiet, like whisper quiet. That's some of the newer things. There's so many products now. Some of them are little, some of them are big. You just have to find them and try them out, because you have to. You know, they don't quite work for you. You always have to invent. You got to be in.